In today's video,
I don't think taking care of a woman and providing for her would be a burden.
A lot of women are kind of doubling down and making sure that the men have something before they give them the time.
We pay the bills, we buy the gifts.
Men act like women half of the time these days.
Men are supposed to be like the protectors and like the providers.
We take care of holidays, we take care of everything.
They're giving a lot of their bodies and different things to men without getting nothing but sometimes divorce in return, and then they have nothing.
That's because we're men.
A lot of men that were raised by single moms and they don't know what it takes to be a man.
It's not the same as back in the day. It's completely different.
The women get mad, like, you're supposed to do that.
I dictate masculinity because femininity is just dictated onto me.
Isn't sex something that's shared while money is something that's taken?
Ooh. I don't know why you would want to be a man by that definition.
Why are there so many women today who say they don't need a man?
Because men act like women half of the time these days.
Men are supposed to be like the protectors and like the providers. And if men are now looking at us being like, oh, you can protect and provide for yourself, then I'm like, why do I need you here?
Does the fact that women no longer need men mean that the main reason women were with men was because they had to be?
No.
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
For the longest time, women absolutely needed to be with men, primarily for their protection, provision, and to procreate. The world becoming more egalitarian is reason why the need for men seems less paramount.
Well, I think that we all want a human connection. It's just if you're not able to offer enough for us or give 50-50, and most men are emotionally unavailable now, so we don't want it.
Men believe in 50-50 now, and they don't believe in providing as much as they used to, or it's not the same as back in the day. It's completely different from like the 1950s, 1950s.
Somebody please tell her about women's rights in the 1950s.
In the early, those kind of times, but now it's just like men earn just as much as money as women, and women earn just as much as men, and so at this point we can all provide equally.
Wouldn't that prove that men were often seen as a utility to be used?
Yeah.
So aren't men better off without women if that's the main reason women would want to be with men?
Yes.
But that's the problem. Women say they're better off. Men never say that.
Men have run out of reasons to try because for the bulk of a man in any stage of his life, he's always had to try to impress the woman or try to keep her attention. But when that doesn't work anymore, he'd rather be alone or be with his boys or do something that's going to better him.
If women no longer need men, why do they still seek men who have more resources, now even more than they ever did before?
Because their wants and needs have escalated, not just because of the economy, but just because of social media. You have all of these people all these celebrities that you see, drive supercars and fly on private jets and go on trips every week. But realistically, they're not, and most of it is made up.
Should a man be expected to love a woman for who she is?
Yes.
Daddy, chill.
If a woman only loves a man for what he provides?
I mean, essentially men only love women for what they provide, their bodies, and being able to, care for them. So, I mean, wouldn't you say it's a double standard?
Get the fuck out of here!
Did you catch how she answers yes without hesitation when a woman stands to benefit? But when it's a man's turn, she gives one caveat after another.
They're giving a lot of their bodies and different things to men without getting nothing but sometimes divorce in return, and then they have nothing. So a lot of women are kind of doubling down and making sure that the men have something before they give them the time.
Are women giving their bodies to men, or are they sharing their bodies with men?
You better ask these deep questions. I do still think that women, when they give their bodies up, it's still giving. It's still, a privilege. Yeah, a privilege.
Women who see giving you their body as a privilege yet still insist on equality are all red flags. Sex is an exchange. They like to only insist on equality when the advantage is theirs to benefit, but cry victim when there's actual balance.
Isn't sex something that's shared while money is something that's taken?
Ooh, I think both things can be shared. I think both sex and money can be shared. It just depends on if you're rocking with the right person.
Why is it that in the age of independent women, a man's value is often determined by what he provides?
And why is a woman's value determined by her sex, her looks, her body, and nothing her brain, nothing intellectual, but just physical appearance?
Doesn't answer the question, just poses a counter argument. Typical.
Women want money, and I feel like women, they're trying to sell anything for money, which is right between their legs.
You drop a neck or something? You gonna drop that neck?
Women we do feel we are the prize, you know, and so at the end of the day, we do want to know what a man can provide because we're supposed to be in our feminine. Women are not supposed to be masculine, and a lot of women are in their masculine era if they're independent, usually because they don't have somebody that allows them to drop those walls, and unfortunately nowadays that comes with what you can do.
Why is anything women don't want to do labeled masculinity?
I think that deep down, a lot of women don't want to have to work and they want to feel like they can be provided for.
Why is that?
I think that at the end of the day, a lot of us still want to be able to be mothers or be at home with our children and also just like gallivant and have some fun with our husbands.
To be very truthful, if I'm gonna be with somebody and it's a trash environment now, I might as well go with somebody that I'm gonna gain something with.
You get nothing. Good day, sir.
Why is women's empowerment all about liberation and choice, while men's empowerment is all about masculinity, duty, and sacrifice, which is actually the opposite of liberation and choice?
I don't know why it is like that. I mean, us men, we probably only thing we can offer is money.
I think it's all like primal and innate. I think for a long time men always sacrificed themselves for women, and women they just care about their body and their views, and they're not like, they were always the gatherers, they weren't ever the hunters. So
why are men expected to double and triple down on their gender role when women have been liberated from theirs?
That's a good question.
It is true. I do feel like for women it's easier to have a choice now to take on the masculine side if you want. It's celebrated and encouraged now, but also it's okay if you don't want to and you just want to embrace the traditional feminine role. I don't know.
We pay the bills, we buy the gifts, we take care of holidays, we take care of everything. And that's because we're men. And anytime that we try to voice our opinion about like, oh, we're men, we pay all the bills, we do all of this stuff, the women get mad, like, you're supposed to do that. And it's almost twisted because it's like, why do women feel as if it's mandatory for us to do that and they don't have to do their job?
Ha! Thank you.
You know, and I feel like the job for a woman is just taking care of the home, and, you know, they could work and pay bills if they would like, but since when was it just 100% on the man?
Why was there a men's liberation movement during the 1970s? What do you think men needed to be liberated from?
The wars. I mean, we were thrusted into a bunch of wars and stuff, and you know, we were kind of put on the back burner and thought we were only good for defending the country. We needed to, you know, come back and be men again and take back the households.
The movement's goals were to challenge traditional male roles and gender expectations and to free men from the constraints society placed on them. Why do we complain about how men are treated and have harder lives at the same time we're advocating for men to be in roles that oppress them?
I think that there's just a lot of soft men out there, honestly. A lot of men that were raised by single moms and they don't know what it takes to be a man.
You serious?
You're the man, you got to pay the bills. You're the man, you got to do this. You got to provide, you got to be the provider. So by us having strength, we could do everything differently. Like, for instance, I moved my whole house into a new place over the weekend, and I didn't have any help.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you
We don't care.
Jerry.
Doesn't strength actually work against men?
I mean, I guess it would work against men in the fact that we have to be out on the front lines, but like that's our job, you know. We're supposed to be protectors and protect everybody else. So it's a double-edged sword, but that comes with the responsibility.
Who hired men to do that job?
God.
What if you're not religious?
Then your biological DNA hired you to do that. I mean, if you don't want to go into religion, you can go into science.
Well, if women put a price on their sexuality, why don't men put a price on their utility?
They do. They require you to have sex with them, cook and clean. That's a price.
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
Men are expected to help with cooking and cleaning nowadays, ma'am.
I mean, I think we do in a certain sense. When it comes to picking a life partner, I feel like we definitely do.
If men are obligated to protect women because they're physically stronger, why aren't women obligated to be sex slaves to men because they have more sex appeal?
I don't think that women should be obligated to be sex slaves.
So then why should men be obligated to be any kind of slaves?
I feel like if you're going to be a man, that you have an obligation to serve and protect those around you, including women. But women need to be a lot more, they need to be the soft hand that a man comes home to after a long day.
What's the difference between feminist women shaming men for being toxically masculine versus traditional women shaming men for not being masculine enough?
I really don't think there's much of a difference in either. It sounds like both kind of have maybe a little bit of bigotry on both sides.
Don't women define masculinity based on what benefits them?
No, I define masculinity on what I personally think a man is.
Wrong!
That's false. The only traits of masculinity women agree with are strictly the ones they directly benefit from or find attractive. Anything else is referred to as toxic masculinity.
You're strong, you're a leader, you're a provider, that is what I see. It's not just attractiveness and all of this.
Aren't those all things that benefit women?
I mean, isn't that also the same thing that benefit men?
Stupid! My perfect man is a mix of masculinity and femininity.
Why do more and more women insist on finding feminine qualities in a man nowadays?
So I feel like you shouldn't shame somebody for being one or the other. There's no perfect mix.
Don't women define masculinity based on what benefits them?
Probably yes.
Why is that?
Because we're looking for certain... the problem with most women is that we're looking for certain ticks to be marked whenever we're looking at men in the beginning.
Why is that?
Well, whenever you're looking at somebody that you want to date, you're subconsciously going through a list of checking things off that they can provide for you. And we probably shouldn't do that, but it usually happens.
Why do women often choose to make lists of what they want in a relationship rather than what they bring to the table?
I think that you can do both, but I think that you just want to make sure that he's bringing enough for you before you get into it. And it could be because you've been with, honestly, a loser in the past.
For me personally, I dictate masculinity because femininity is just dictated onto me. You expect me to cook and clean. You expect me to look pretty and take care of everything at home. So why can I not expect for my man to do his man roles that he's expecting of me?
But aren't men labeled misogynists and sexist when they dictate femininity to women?
But I feel like women are seen as sexist and feminist when we do the same thing back.
What? Men are socialized to put their necks on the chopping block, to expose themselves to elements, to take on dangerous jobs, to work on crab boats, to drive trucks, to do any number of really, really dangerous things in order to provide for people that they care about. We have the same rules set up for men that they've always lived by, that you need to protect and provide at any cost. It's the old standard of women and children first. It is still men carrying the lion's share. And it is still the expectation that if somebody's going to go down with the ship, it's going to be men.